Right now, we are about 4 hours away from maybe being able to use a VPN and buying some Riftbound cards. And today, I'm actually not going to talk about Riftbound, partly because I don't know anything about Riftbound except that pre-ordering is happening in 4 hours. And the other thing, collectible card games, they are a 10 out of 10 hobby for me and for a lot of people. And you can see that represented in how much money is being invested, traded, and how much time people put to the effort. I think card games scratch 4 or 5 different itches that people really appreciate, or people just really need scratching. These itches are not in any order. They're just things that we find really satisfying about collectible card games. The first one is financial, because we live in a day and age where money shapes or defines exactly how well we think we're doing in life. And so we try to get good jobs. We try to invest. We try to buy nice homes and all these things. And those things aren't really available to all of us. And yes, with financial decisions, we're all looking for that shortcut. We're all looking for that one IPO, that crazy crypto scheme, that lottery ticket and whatnot. And it's almost always out of our reach. However, with collectible card games, each pack we buy is a lottery ticket. A lottery ticket that can be satisfying in a couple different ways. One is straight up speculation and maybe going to your card shop. Maybe you buy a booster pack for like $5 and then you find a $10 card in there and then you have instant profit. Second thing is, you may just find a card that you've been looking for a while, or that completes a set or completes a deck that you've been trying to build. Card games are pretty affordable luxury compared to other people's luxuries like watches, which I don't understand why people like to buy watches. I don't understand why people want to buy nice clothing or nice meals. I think for special occasions they're useful, but oftentimes just the ephemeral nature of experiences, they just kind of pale to the physical satisfaction of buying something, getting a surprise and saying, hey, I bought something for $5, but it turned out to be $10. And that scratches a financial itch for me, which is not really rational. The second itch is almost like an intellectual itch, because when you are building decks, when you're trying to explore how to, well, not just play within the rules, but how to bend the rules, you're looking for combinations of cards that just not just surprise, but shock or shame or take away all the opportunities away from your opponent. Like in the right hands or in the wrong hands, a good combination of cards that showcases how broken a rule set is, it feels great. It feels absolutely great, because when you're able to accomplish it, not only have you outsmarted your opponent, you've also outsmarted the game designer and, in a way, outsmarted the laws of destiny and luck, because for you to not just build a combination into your deck, but pull it in enough time before your opponent does the same thing to you, that is intellectual magic. And when you can pull that kind of illusion or, like bend destiny to your own will, that is an amazing feeling, my friends. That is the intellectual side, very closely kin to the competitive itch. Outsmarting your enemy, showing that in the moment, not only could you build a better deck, but you could make the decisions in a live, high-pressure scenario that shows that you are a better player in that moment. Now, I had to say a better player in that moment, because when you were young, as we all have been at times, and may we always have a young mindset. When you're young, you think one victory means that you are the better person, and no, you had a better game. But in that moment when you have a better game, that thrill of victory, hopefully a game that doesn't take a long time, where you can also explain away losses by randomness. Like you could just say RNGesus wasn't in my favor, but I know deep down that if it was in 2 out of 3 games, I could beat you. So let's play again, right? So there's an intellectual satisfaction in designing great decks where you can be theory crafting all the time, but then there's the competitive satisfaction of playing against people and sharing a moment of high intensity emotion with them where you are both striving for the same things. But gosh, sometimes I have been a sore loser, and I am a sore loser still sometimes, right? And that's also part of the human condition. Now, the fourth itch is the social itch. I don't know about you guys, but when I was playing Magic the Gathering 30 years ago, I wish I could say I was antisocial, but I was just bad at being social. I was a lonely kid at college trying to make friends and needing some sort of framework, connectivity, common ground by which to connect with other kids. So for me, that was Magic the Gathering. I could go any place, run into somebody with a Magic the Gathering, anything, like any cards lying around, and lo and behold, I would just happen to have decks of Magic the Gathering in my pockets. Heck, in my spare time, I would try to signal to other people in the tribe by just shuffling Magic the Gathering cards for no apparent reason as a nervous tick, hoping to summon forth somebody else. Because I was a lonely kid, I wanted to be social, but nobody ever taught me how to be social. So they were the excuse, the reason, the binding glue that allowed me to connect with so many other people. And some of the people I met playing Magic 30 years ago are still my friends to this very day. And that's where Riftbound is such an interesting opportunity for me, because I can get the financial satisfaction, maybe. I can get the intellectual satisfaction. I can get the competitive satisfaction and a bit of the social satisfaction as well, without having to catch up to 3 decades of card lore and rule sets and whatnot, because I know that Magic the Gathering lawyering is a real thing, right? Friends don't let friends lawyer in Magic the Gathering. And then there's this final itch, which I think is just a culmination of all of them, which is an emotional itch to connect to an IP that is bigger and more inspiring or entertaining. There is a reason why of the big trading card games, we have Pokémon, which is a TV show and a set of toys over across many generations. Okay, like 3 generations, maybe 2 generations. And we have Yu-Gi-Oh, similarly anchored on a very popular TV show. And then we have One Piece, right? So of the major card games out there, almost all of them are anchored on stories that people are emotionally tied to, right? In fact, I think the only one that is really the exception to the rule was the first one, Magic the Gathering itself, because there was no real IP to it. And that's because the game was built as a game and not as an IP. But every other successful game out there was based on a successful IP, and there's a powerful synergistic effect where the game leverages the IP and the IP continues to make the game more popular. And Riot already has a popular video game. Riot already has a popular TV show, and gosh, if they would only hurry up and get their heads out of their ass, they would roll out others, because I think the biggest missed opportunity for Riot was K-pop Demon Hunters should have been KDA Demon Hunters, but what do I know? And for me and the people around me, it is a fresh start so that I don't feel like I have to play catch up, and I can be on common ground with everybody, hopefully doing similar things as I used to, theory crafting in off hours, competing with people, speculating and looking up information on cards, tracking down like rare and random and mysterious cards, and maybe having just a way for me to connect with other old guys like me who are interested in having a hobby, but not so interested to meet up with the young folks anymore. Or we want to, but look, I just can't say no cap or skibbity toilet, no matter how much my nieces and nephews want me to. And so, yeah, that's why collectible card games are a 10 out of 10 hobby for me. And maybe these reasons are the same reasons they are also a 10 out of 10 hobby for you.